Hi everyone, Cassius here, and today I'm going to go over the build that I used for my Drunken Master in my most recent unfair playthrough of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. And this is a build that's designed to work from level 1 at the start of the game all the way to level 20, so it's not going to be maximized in every single aspect, but it will work very efficiently. As you can see, by the end of the game, I have plus 89 to all my attack rolls, and that's without some additional buffs like the Sacred buff that you can get from Sela's Mark of Justice or Cecile's Community Domain, and so on, a few other things here and there. Armor class of 122. Don't need any more to tank anything in the game, so you're good there. Critical threat range of 14 through 20. Decent damage, not great damage by the end of the game, but still good. Huge stats all around. And good skill checks basically for everything. So, to start off with, the ability scores you're going to want to go with is 7 for Strength, 18 for Dex, 14 for Con, 14 for Intelligence, 19 for Wisdom, and 7 for Charisma. And that is because I chose the ASMR, and I went with the, was it Muse Touched, I think it was? Garuda Blooded. That way I get +2 bonus Dexterity and Wisdom, which allows me to have the 16 or the 18 in Dexterity and the 19 in Dexterity at the start of the game. If you go with a human, then that would be either 18 or either 16 here or 17 here, which it can work that way, but I just think it's more beneficial to have that little extra AC at the start of the game because that's the hardest point. Now with this build, you will start off with very low damage at the start of the game. And you'll note that I'm not going to take anything that increases damage based on dexterity. I do take weapon finesse at first level, so that way he can hit more often, but that's it. I do not do the extra damage, so whatever damage he does is going to be very minimal for the first chapter. I also take improved initiative at level 1 as well. You got to get that improved initiative out of the way. And then at level 2, go with Crane Styles to start the tanking capability, and by the time you get to level 3 and you get combat expertise, you also unlock Drunken Key and Drunken Combat to really get that AC ramping up. Drunken Combat will also increase your attack bonus, and so you really want to focus on getting that to as high as possible. So that way you can get these huge attack bonuses for your guy. At level 5, I went with Outflank because, well, Outflank is just a really good thing to get. It's good for all the physical damage dealers you have. Level 6 Monk bonus feat, I went with Dodge. Level 7, I went with Crane Wing. And that's basically the last tanking ability that I grab here. Level 9, I got Weapon Focus Psi. I originally was going with an unarmed approach to this build, but because I have a Scald in my party, the Beast Totem makes it so the unarmed attacks don't work as effectively because it overwrites the flurry of blows you get with the unarmed attacks with their claw attacks. So instead of having 7 unarmed attacks, you would only have 2 claw attacks and a bite attack. So it's just not worth it. So I went with Psi. Level 10, I went with improved critical Psi here. Normally I would probably go with combat reflexes here instead, but I waited until level 14 because I went with Trickster and then went into Golden Dragon after that. But at level 11, I got Crane Riposte here. At level 13, level 12, I got the Trickster Mythic Path. And that allowed me to take improved critical here, then improved critical here. I got combat reflexes here at level 14, later than I'd usually like to get it, but my hands were kind of tied with these other things I had to get first. Then improved critical improved here, so that way he's critting very often, and now he's doing ×4 crits, so he's hitting, or ×3 without the Scald, but he's hitting hard. We got improved blind fight here as the last monk bonus feat. And then I got shatter defenses here at the end. And also, because I went with Gold Dragon, I get more feats there at the end as well. And because they nerfed shatter defenses recently, the reason why I went with this instead of, say, Seize the Moment is because he gets so many attacks and he's got such a huge attack bonus that he's very likely to hit on his first attack, which makes it so that way all of these other attacks will hit no matter what. As for the final feats I took with the Gold Dragon, I went with Weapon Specialization Psi, Power Attack, and Greater Weapon Specialization. If I were to redo this, I would not take Greater Weapon Specialization, and instead I would take Seize the Moment. And that would make it so he gets more attacks of opportunity on enemies when other allies crit. I started off at my first mythic level with Abundant Ki, and then I got Improved Initiative Mythic at level 2, got Ever Ready at level 3, Dodge Mythic at level 4, and this one can probably wait till later, but I decided that getting more AC early on is great. Thundering Blows at level 5, Improved Critical Psi at level 6, always a chance at level 7, because I didn't have Power Attack at this point, so I wanted to go with make sure, even if I rolled a 1, I would still hit my enemy. Flawless Attacks at level 8, again, just making it so the secondary attacks would hit more often. I'm sorry, that's what this one was. That's what the purpose of Flawless Attacks was. I got those backwards. I got Last Stand there, and then Power Attack Mythic at final level. That way he does even more damage. So, and also, just to show you, got 44 key points. That is a lot of key points. I don't really know how I could get more. I suppose I might be able to get up to 45 if by the end of the game. And that is entirely because my wisdom score is so high. So because of all the gear that I have and because what the perfect soul does, perfect body gives you +4 to the highest ability score, which in my case was wisdom. So then +6 and then +8. So that got even higher. And I got this belt here from going through the DLC, the Inedible Excess DLC. I also got this helm from the Inedible Excess DLC. Now, you won't have these to use necessarily in your playthroughs if you haven't gone through them, but even if you don't have these, as long as you have a Brownford Transmuter, you can still get this +8 bonus to all of your stats, so that shouldn't be a concern. This is from the Midnight Isles DLC that I got, and it's good for tanking. It's not the +6 to Wisdom and Charisma isn't the best thing because you can get that pretty easily. But the other part of it, so if he does get hit, then he gets resistance for a round, so they don't continue to deal damage to him. This is also from one of the DLCs. Well, in fact, you're going to see a lot of the gear that I have on is from the DLCs. This one is also from Midnight Isles. This one is also a bonus that I got from the Inedible Excess DLC, but again, it's only -1 because you can get the Ring of Protection +6. It's not really that big of a difference. This is a huge one. Again, you only lose 2 armor though, and well, obviously the damage, the force weapon damage reductions. Let's say of all these things that I'm losing here, I lose, say, this will make me lose 4. I don't know exactly how much. Let's say I go down 7 or 8 attack. I still have 80 on my bonus to attack, and that's not counting what she gives. These embroidered gloves are from Relu's Laboratory, the second visit. This you can buy from, I think this is Storyteller. Okay, you buy this from the Storyteller in Chapter 4. You get this and also from Chapter 4. So big natural armor bonus and +2 to highest ability score. Also, something to point out that the natural armor bonus from this is actually 6 because I had it when I was a trickster. So instead of being +5, it's actually +6. Same thing with this belt and this helm. These are +9 instead of +8. So this is the side that I use. I found this, you get this one down in Alushanira, chapter 4 as well. So pretty powerful weapon there. Also in chapter 3 or chapter 1, sorry, at the very beginning, once you get to Defender's Heart, you can buy this. This will help your damage in chapter 1. When you use Drunken Power, level 5, you get this. Gives you an additional 1d8 points of damage. Even if you don't have this ability, when you use the mug, you still get the ability to use Drunken Power. It's just it's going to be 1d8. That's what the mug does. It adds 1d8 extra damage to Drunken Power. Even though you only have 7 strength at the start of the game, you'll still be doing an additional 1d8 damage whenever you hit the enemy. Level 5, that'll be up to 2d8 extra damage. By the time you get to level 8, that'll be 3d8 extra damage. So you're actually doing a decent amount of damage by the time you get to level 8, and you're hitting a lot because you have such high attack bonus because of the Drunken Combat. So you do get a whole lot of extra, a good chance to hit, and as long as you're using Drunken Power every round, then you're going to be hitting a lot, and you're going to be hitting decently hard. Additionally, it's really easy to recover ki with a Drunken Master because all you have to do is drink alcohol. So I go like this. I use some, I only have to use it once, but just to show you, I used 6 ki points here. Drink some more alcohol. And it's all back. You know, really easy to recover the hit points that, or the hit points, the ki points that you consume, and you can stay at maximum pretty efficiently. For this build, I went with the skills Mobility, Knowledge Arcana, Perception, and Persuasion, and I put 1 point into Trickery just so I could unlock things. Knowledge Arcana is not the best choice unless you're going Trickster. If you're going to go Trickster, then you need a Knowledge Arcana. That way you can get all the items that you get additional +1 for the Trickster ability. Do I still have that listed up here? No, I don't. So the special trick or mythic trick you get at level 3, the first one you can take as long as you choose the skill Knowledge Arcana, and that will make it so every one of these items that has an enhancement bonus that you find and you identify, you get an additional +1 on top of it. Now the trick is this guy has to be the one who identifies it. It can't be anybody else. So he needs to have the highest Knowledge Arcana in the group. So all these weapons that you find, so let's say I find this instead of buying it, this would, instead of a +4, it would be a +5 weapon. It just makes it that much better. That's how this is a +9. That's how this is a +9. This gives me 6 to natural armor instead of 5, and so on. So just to give you an idea of how to work with this build and how to get this going. So go with Trickster until you get to chapter 5, at which point you switch over to Gold Dragon, and then you just go from there. Also, when you get to Trickster at level 4, you're going to want to take its Knowledge World for the first mythic trick, and then the improved mythic trick, you're going to take Knowledge World rank 2. And that will unlock the ability to get these improved for all of your party, which allowed me to get Sela all the improved criticals. So she's got a 13 through 20 crit range. For him as well, 13 through 20, 13 through 20. And Arujla has 17 through 20 with a bow. So my party is critting super heavily with this build, and they're hitting hard. Now, one of the downsides choosing a Gold Dragon is that it's a very selfish mythic path. The Gold Dragon itself is very powerful, but nobody else is going to gain any power from the Gold Dragon. Granted, they were able to gain power from the Trickster path before I went into Gold Dragon, which is one of the reasons why I chose the Trickster path, is so that way they would be they would actually get some benefit from the mythic path that they wouldn't otherwise get if I were to go choose a different one. So they got all these feats, and they were still able to be very powerful in the end. But yeah, that's the build that I used for my recent unfair playthrough with my Drunken Master. It was very effective. Just to give you an idea, by the time I got to chapter 2, I had 60, or by the end of chapter 2, I had over 60 armor class, which is more than enough to tank anything in chapter 2. And I was able to do the gargoyle fight in chapter 2 on unfair with him tanking. He didn't get hit once. It was very nice to go through. The first time I've ever been able to do that. And yeah, that'll about do it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you have any comments or questions, please go ahead and leave them down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And until I see you again, have a good one, y'all. Later.